Jacob, I'm so glad to see you with your camera filming our beautiful gardens. We've been so lucky with the wonderful weather this fall. It's just amazing that things are still in bloom. A few things, anyway. I want to invite all our church family up to see the gardens. They're so lovely. It's a good place to walk around or drive around. You can see a lot of the gardens just driving around. It's been a fun place to work. Many people have given a hand to making these gardens what they are. The Garden and Grounds Committee, 3 or 4 years ago, decided that really and truly all the gardens needed to be redone. And so we developed kind of an overall plan to include as many native plants as possible because it increases the pollinators and it feeds the birds. So that's been our aim, and slowly but surely they're getting whipped into shape. James and Mary Ellen Moore have done a huge amount of work on these gardens. Recently, Ross Ferguson and his son Solomon have. Ron and Philip Talbot. Philip's tended to the lawns and done master work with the irrigation system, for which I personally am very grateful. Ron and I actually got after some suckers from that old wisteria that are invasive. About 2 weeks ago, we were up here with spray cans and paint brushes working against those suckers. Many other people, certainly Dwight and Mark Powell have worked. Karen Crocker. Anita Buki was on our original design committee, and she had some wonderful ideas that have worked out very well for these gardens. There are probably many others that I'm not remembering right this moment, but let's go take a look at some of these gardens. The newest garden right here was put in last spring. I was just determined that we were going to have some native wild plum trees. They're becoming almost extinct. They used to grow along all the sides of the gravel roads in Washington County. You can hardly find any now because they've paved all those roads and they've mowed all the shoulders. So they are beautiful in the spring when they bloom. They're not very big right now. I bought the plants from the master gardeners. They collected them from farmers and from the woods out near West Fork. We have other native plants in here, especially the native asters are especially pretty right now at this time of year. The fence is around it because you can't raise a baby tree with the deer in this neighborhood. They love to eat trees. They love to eat all plants. So that's one of the things that's always a consideration. Are the deer going to find this yummy? The pots are so graciously donated by the Belden family for our church, and they are absolutely beautiful. But as the weather gets cooler, most of those plants die. It's amazing that these two are still going, and look at them. They're blooming. It's November. I think this is just beautiful. I don't know of any place that has a campus any more lovely than ours. I have to be very proud of it. This is the main entrance to the Brooks Hummel Nature Preserve. Soon it will have a more formal sign, but our church has voted to make this an entryway for the whole community. This is the cutting garden. I think there was a squash in here, and oh my goodness, look at those cherry tomatoes over there. We still have zinnias in bloom, and this was the butterfly garden. In this garden are planted native plants that attract butterflies especially. It's a wonderful place for the children to see the chrysalis and the butterflies come out of them. This is the First School Memorial Garden. It has flowers in it this summer. They've been pulled, and we will do some soil preparation, and then the children will plant bulbs for spring. Oak leaf hydrangeas are beautiful, especially in the fall. All these boxwoods need pruning. If you would like to help prune, I would love to help you by teaching you how is a good way to prune boxwoods. But also, there's a lot of boxwoods on our property. I sometimes don't have time to get to them all, so I definitely need some help. This plant right here that I chose for here because it's easy and the deer don't need it, and it's a great ground cover, and in the spring it has little purple flowers. It's called the juga. If you ever see any plants up here that you would like for your garden, please call me. I'll be happy to share. Most of the time I have things to share up here, and specific plants if you want them. What we're going to do is work the soil again and plant bulbs for spring. So that's coming up probably the week before Thanksgiving. So what you can do is look on the weekend update, and we will announce events like bulb planting on campus. Many hands make happy work. This is another garden that's been completely redone, and we've trimmed the cherries and tried to find things that will grow in here that can stand very hot sun in the summer and are not appealing to deer. Deer will eat anything if they get hungry enough. But you can see some of the pollinators still out on that particular plant, which I can't remember the name of right this second. We actually had hummingbirds this summer. First summer I've seen hummingbirds on campus. This garden had to be completely redone because of the construction mess after the sanctuary. And so we've put in a mix. It was, the garden committee designed a garden that would have a mix of perennial things and a few annuals here. We'll dig up those annuals this coming week probably and get it ready for planting bulbs. We have azaleas and those little pines, and the greenery in the back. We have to be careful to keep the holly trimmed, but all in all, I think it's a very pleasant, pretty garden. And this garden along here is really a challenge. We've gotten some things that work in here and some things that don't work so well, but the whole idea was to get some, these are called pencil hollies, and they're supposed to get 6 or 8 feet tall. This garden has been redone. We removed an invasive species and a species that had poisonous berries for birds. We replaced all that with 3 Admiral junipers. These Admiral junipers are native to Arkansas, and you can see lots of them if you go down 49 toward Interstate 40 between here and Alma. The columbarium. David Clay so faithfully keeps it looking beautiful all the time. It's a wonderful place to come and sit if you need to think through something or if you need to pray. It's just a lovely space. Well, this is a new garden put in this year. It has the rug juniper, and we tried different flowers up front, and the deer just eat them. I've never known deer to eat mums, but they sure do like the blossoms. So of course, they haven't eaten plants, but they've eaten the blossoms on these mums. That's a cotoneaster over there, and that's a small holly over there. The idea was to have something pretty as an entryway into the Lee Power Garden. We had good tours of the Lee Power Garden at its dedication. What a beautiful day it was, and what a lovely day it is here. Look at this little maple here. That's especially pretty, I think. We have a lovely campus. Come visit us. See you soon, I hope.